Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Back in the studio for another episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Matt, Shane, and Jason with you guys tonight. We are very happy to have Shane back on the program with us. He just had a little newborn baby. It's tough in the streets with those kids, Shane.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Now that we have two, it is. Yeah. No sleep for the wicked, no sleep for the good either.
But it's lovely. It's a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing.
A season of pain is what people have been describing it to me as, and I think it's beautiful way to say that. A season of pain.
Jason, how we doing tonight?
That's what the Steelers are going to go through.
Oh, you stop it. You just hush. Jason, what's up, dog?
Oh, nothing. I love the jabs already. He's back. Hey, and you get a little break from work to where you can do some more research on your bets whenever in your free time now.
Yeah. I promise I have been diving deep into the regular season, probably way too deep. Specifically, like week 17, 18, 16, those fantasy playoffs, baby.
Yeah, we're excited to be back, guys. This episode, remember we said we're going to start recording twice a week. Okay, this one's just the parlay fades. We're going to go over some bets, week 3 preseason, last preseason week. We're going to throw out some college bets, guys. I've been diving in deep with that. But first and foremost, guys, thank you to F6P. If you have not heard yet, we will pound the drum for them until we are blue in the face. We are partnered with the F6P Fantasy Six Pack. It's been wonderful things. Those guys over there, Joe, AJ, Mike, who's very active in Discord. We are very happy to be over there with those guys. If you want to follow any of their content, that is where our video podcasts will be, over on their YouTube page, Fantasy Six Pack. Head on over to the Fantasy Six Pack in Discord. Become an all-access member on their website, guys. They have all kinds of stuff. Draft strategies, cheat sheets, DFS plays, awesome articles, every sport on the market. It's not just football. They have every single sport, which Shane and Jason are going to put all their bets on all the sports that they do. I primarily just do football, but you guys will have access to all that content as well. You can get on our bets. We have been playing extremely well the last year and a couple of weeks and change. We're very excited to be over there. Anything you guys want to add to that before we get into it?
It is fantasysixpack.net, by the way, for those of you that are tuning into the audio side. Fantasysixpack.net, not .com. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. It's still so new and fresh. I kind of forget sometimes.
Oh, I wasn't telling you not to do that. I was telling the listeners not to do that. But yeah, you too.
But yeah.
Well, dang. Shoot.
Yeah.
Jason, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, hey, they give out great information. Everybody's on the chat, so where if you have questions or concerns about something, hey, shoot us a message, join the Discord. Hey, we got you, boo-boo.
And also, we also have the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast is still going to be its own brand, okay? So you can still go over to any of the podcasting platforms, click subscribe. We will still be on all the podcasting platforms over there under Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. So, like I said, hit follow, leave us a 5-star review. We are partnered with them. Our main stuff's going to be over there on their YouTube, and we're going to be in their Discord. We're going to be very active on the website as well. I know Shane's going to be writing some articles, hopefully very soon for them. So head on over there, give us and them a follow, a subscribe, 5-star review. There's a lot of good information. Become an all-access member today. If you want to find Shane or Jason or myself on any of the social media platforms, you can find Shane at Shane Parlay FF on X. You can find Jason at Jason Parlay FF. You can find myself at Matt_Parlay FF on X. Guys, we're not going to go over any news and notes. This is strictly just a betting episode. before we jump into it, is there anything that you guys want to add, or do you want to jump right on in?
The only thing that I will say, I know we're not doing news and notes technically, but Saquon Barkley did go down with an injury today, so keep tabs on that.
Yeah, be careful when you're betting now this week, and we'll go over that. All right, let's jump into it, boys.
Time for the Parlay Fade.
Take it away, Jason.
All right, boys. The last page of the book. The last page.
Did you get a new book?
We have the new book ready.
Okay.
Fresh and ready for the best season that we're going to have. But, hey, like we said before, guys, it's preseason. We're getting warmed up. Matt's already in the swing of things. Matt did very well last week. And just to go over our bets in last week, your boy went 1-2-1 at a hideous push. Matt went 3-1, and Shane went 1-2. He's on the board, y'all. So overall, we went 5-5-1 as a group. So we pushed. There was even money last week, so nothing to worry about. But hey, we're getting deep into the preseason. This is the last betting week sheet that we have, and the good old booklet that has lasted us well. And Matt, you got the honors.
All right, guys. I'll get into my college bets after we talk about the NFL, the last week of the preseason here. My first game for the NFL, guys. If you've been watching the preseason, this will kind of catch on to you. It's Pittsburgh at Detroit. The over/under is 36.5. I'm taking the under. Detroit, I don't think is playing any of their starters, and even if the Steelers do play their starters, they've proven that they really can't move the ball. Okay, they can't score very well. It hurts my heart to say that because I am a Steelers fan, but there's a lot of work to do in Pittsburgh. They've got some stuff they need to sort out. And on top of that, I know Pittsburgh really hasn't been playing their starters on defense. And if they have, it's only been for a couple plays, maybe a series for some of them. But obviously, TJ Watt and change, they're not going to play. Give me the under 36.5 of that game. Next game, if you guys go back and listen to the episode we just recorded a couple days ago, it's San Francisco at Las Vegas. Shane alluded to it. San Francisco is dealing with a plethora of injuries. We don't really even currently know who their starters are right now, minus Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel. All right. Christian McCaffrey is injured. He's definitely not playing in the preseason. Brandon Ayuk, what's going on with that situation? Everyone is just tired of hearing about it, ourselves included, for fantasy purposes, also now for betting purposes. The over-under of that is 37.5. I know Vegas has actually put up points. They've been scoring the football, but they still haven't reached that 37.5 threshold, except for week 1 when they played Minnesota, and that was an outlier game. I mean, gee, many Christmas, they scored like 50-some points combined. But I'm going to take the under 37.5. I don't think San Francisco is going to score the ball, and if they do, it's going to be an outlier game. So I like the under 37.5. The last one, however, guys, it is an over-under. Again, it's 36.5. It's Indianapolis at Cincinnati. I'm taking the over of this. And the reason why I'm taking the over of this game is because Shane Steichen has come out and said that his starters are going to play until halftime, especially on offense. Now, we might not see like every single starter the whole game or the whole time, but he has stated that Anthony Richardson himself and some of the other starters are going to play until halftime. So that makes me believe that Cincinnati, they may play like T. Higgins and company. Chase Brown's been looking good. I'm going to take the over of this game in hopes that he is telling the truth and that the starters do play until halftime for Indianapolis. So I like the over this game of 36.5 for Indy at Cincinnati.
Fun fact, Shane Steichen has one of the highest trustworthy scores on the coach speak chart. So if you guys don't know that, there's a guy that's now tracking all of the coach speak, and he will do press conference things. Find him on Twitter. It's amazing. But yeah, Shane Steichen is one of the most trustworthy guys in the NFL. The only time he was like wrong was when he was like, oh yeah, this is probably going to happen. And then obviously he was like, I didn't know that the injury staff told me it was that bad. My bad.
Shane, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so my bets of the week, we have the Dolphins +3. Listen, the Dolphins are going to play their starters versus Washington, and we're going to see Tua, we're going to see Tyreek, maybe we'll see Tyreek, but we'll definitely see Jalen Waddle, and I expect them to carve up what is a very weak Washington secondary for however long they are out there. And then to parlance off that, Cleveland Browns are expected to sit a lot of their starters this week against the Seattle Seahawks. And guess what? They're playing a former starting quarterback in Sam Howell. Sam Howell will be leading the Seahawks out there. There's a chance that JSN gets some significant run. So they'll have a plethora of players available. DK is sitting, obviously. No one's shocked about that. So it's Tyler Lockett. But they'll have a lot of their normal players running as well. So that's the reason I'm going Seahawks +2.5. So we have Dolphins +3, Seahawks +2.5. And then we have the smash play of the week, which is the sucker bet of the week. And I know it is. And it's Packers money line. And Packers are expected to play their starters for significant time. And I know it's just going to bite me in the ass. I know it is. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Go ahead and crank out your first parlay of the season. Make it preseason week 3. Add the Packers on there just for shits and gigs. And then last but not least, the one I'm arguably most confident in, Titans, Saints. Their over-under is currently at 36.5. I'm taking the under. Neither team is expected to play a majority of their starters. Both offenses seem to be very stally with their second and third teams and have not put up a lot of points. When we see the non-starters on the field, it's been really ugly, like not worth watching football.
I can't argue with any of that. I love it.
No,
I love it.
I like it. I love
Hey,
all that.
Matt, what was the number that you got for the Lions-Steelers game? Because I agree with you on that. I think you got a better number than me, so I was just checking that.
I had
36.5?
I had 36.5.
Yeah, I'm taking that with everything that Matt alluded to, the Steelers looking kind of anemic on offense right now. I don't know what the plan is for the Lions all that much. They might play their starters a little bit, given what Dan Campbell likes to do, but I like the under. And for all you listeners, last week the under was 14-2, which is insane. And we all know preseason unders are the play, and you're going to get all unders from me going forward in this. So the next one that I have here is the Vikings versus the Eagles. With the injury to JJ McCarthy, I think the Vikings are kind of going to rest their starters more so going into this. They're kind of banged up right now. So with that being said, it hurts me to say this because the Eagles have looked good playing on offense, but 34.5 is such a key number in these preseason games. I like the under of 34.5, even given that half point is crucial in this setting. So give me the under 34.5, Vikings, Eagles. And last one, I think it's one of my better bets of the week that I feel confident in. It's the under Patriots Commanders game. Jaden Daniels, I think, might see a little bit of playing time. He might not even play, but with Jeff Driscoll and Trace McSorley getting majority of the time under center, I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be very punt heavy. May is going to play. I still can't believe they haven't played May more in the preseason, if we're being completely honest, y'all. So with Jacoby Brissett not really getting much done under center and Bailey Zappi doing Zappi things that we've seen him do, I like this game being under 34.
Love
The
it.
Zapster, Zappy, Bailey Zappy. Pew pew.
Old Bailey. Old Bailey Zap attack. Hey, Shane, before we jump into college, or do you have any college bets? Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll hit mine. I only have the one, and it is. I don't know if you can find it on all books, but it is on ESPN Bet. So if you have ESPN Bet, go check that out. It is the Big 12 as a conference to be over 1.5 teams to make the college football playoffs. It is plus 110 right now. So, like the Pokes this year, like Utah, like K-State, if KU can stay healthy, there are plenty of teams that have challenging enough schedules to insert themselves into that conversation. And I believe that they had the second most ranked teams going into the year out of conferences. So if you're already ranked, you can continue playing well. You have a very good shot if you finish undefeated or maybe a 2-loss team to sneak into that playoff. And I think that that's a incredibly low number for what is one of the best conferences in college football.
In my personal opinion, I think this year, first off, I love the bet. I love the freaking bet. I think the Big 12 is honestly, not being a homer, I think it is one of the best, if not the best conference. There's so many teams in that division that are going to be competing versus other Power 5 conferences that have that 1-2 standout team, and the rest are just kind of like middling of the pack. There's legit 5 teams in the Big 12 that could win the Big 12. Like it is a very, very competitive league for all those out there that do watch and pay attention. It's very, very competitive. I love that pick.
They all have massive playoff like expectations in those organizations. Like, so I think that also matters a lot. Like the expectation of the coaches between like, let's have a good season, let's make a bowl, and like our goal is the playoff or bust. I think that's a huge shift in the status quo of like how teams are going to approach the seasons.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna, like I told you guys last week, I have a lot of future picks, and what I'm going to give you tonight is all futures, just because these are picks that I really like, and I've personally placed money on these. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I'll try to make it through as fast as possible. First one, guys, October 26th. You got the Sunflower Showdown. We already kind of talked about it. KSU at KU, right? This line actually moved. It moved today. You can get KSU -7. You can get KSU -7 right now. And let me tell you guys, predicting college football games is very difficult, especially games later in the year with the rosters, because you never know what's going to happen. You can't predict injuries, right? But that being said, the one thing that we can count on is matchups and the handicaps that come with them. Y'all, this is the Sunflower Showdown, and history shows us KSU has been much more favorable than KU, led by, in my opinion, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the nation. This offense should dominate in the trenches, even with the 4 O-line starters gone to the NFL or just straight up graduated. KSU has always been strong against KU. They've won the last 15 matchups against KU. In this Chris Kleinman-led offense and team, in my opinion, will dominate KU in the trenches. I don't think KU stands a chance against the likes of Avery Johnson with his arm. He's supposedly a lot more accurate, and with my contacts in at K-State, his arm is looking fresh and fly, baby, and he has improved his accuracy this year. You've got DJ Giddens on the inside with running back. We got transfer Dylan Edwards, one of the best running backs coming out of high school. He is back with his boy Avery Johnson, plus the slew of wide receivers in Chase Brown, Keegan Johnson. They have improved vastly. We did get a couple transfers out of the portal coming to K-State as well. This team should be very dominant. Now, we all know that Cooper Beebe left, and he was one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL or in college. But his brother, are we forgetting about that? He comes from a great pedigree, and his brother supposedly is dang near just as good as Cooper was as a freshman. So, in my opinion, K-State dominates this game, dominates the trenches. You take that -7 while you can, because like Shane said, KU is also projected to be pretty good. They have a good roster. And if Jalen Daniels can stay healthy, the sky is the limit, because he's a very good quarterback. That's the question, though. Can he stay healthy? He has not stayed healthy in any of his college seasons so far. So go and grab that number, -7, because I do predict that to drop once we get a little closer to kickoff of that game. It's October 26th. So I would go grab that -7 while you still can. Next game, guys. I have Hawaii versus UCLA, August 31st. In this specific game, there's actually been some sharp money pushing this number down a little bit. All right. So I would go get it. I'd go get it while you can. If it drops much lower, I'd be a little skeptical. Hawaii is one of the most improved teams here in the spot in the Mountain West Conference. And the style they play, with which is more of a run and gun / shoot style offense under Coach Chang, should give this pretty weak UCLA back seven some major issues in the islands of Hawaii. UCLA is not only breaking in a new head coach, but they're also breaking in a new offensive coordinator and have almost completely rebuilding their roster after losing pretty much half of their production from last year. Brian Shager is back for Hawaii in his senior season at quarterback for the Rainbow Warriors, and we do not expect to see this team show all its glory in Week 0 matchup against a Delaware State team that missed their flight today, I was informed by Jason, because they play in a couple days. All right, by the time you listen to this podcast, it's probably game day. We all know there is some precedent for a team to play well in its second matchup against a team who will only be playing its first game. I'm shooting my shot here for Hawaii to keep this game close at plus 13.5. I like it. Go grab it. Next game, guys. Colorado State plus 8 versus Colorado. This game is September 14th. Colorado hosted Colorado State last season, and Colorado was huge favorites. My guess is the massive hype around the star-studded coach prime Deion Sanders as the Buffalo coach. We all know the hype he got last year. Colorado did escape with a W in double overtime, but to be 100% honest, if you watch the game, Colorado State should have won that game. If you remember, Jay Norvell should have gone for it on 4th down and short in the closing minutes of that game. That would probably Colorado State probably would have likely won that game, and they were 3 touchdown underdogs. This season, however, the Rams have been able to keep some of their top talent on offense and get to host Colorado in a pretty favorable position. The Buffs will be coming off a game against Nebraska in Week 2. Playing in your state rival on the road is bad, but just faced another rival who wants revenge on Colorado and wants to beat the absolute brakes off of Colorado. I don't wish that on any program. Reality is, even if the Buffs can beat Nebraska on the road, it's unlikely for them to travel to Fort Collins without a serious challenge from this Colorado State team. I like Colorado State at this number of plus 8, and I believe it will be less than a touchdown or a Rams victory even. Take this number while you still can and run with it. The last one I got, guys, is actually a conference winner. And this has been one of my best bets. It's been one of my best bets since the summer. It's Boise State to win the Mountain West Conference. I've had optimism in Boise State all summer long. The market for this team has also agreed, if you've been following the numbers. This used to be a plus number on Boise to win, but I currently have seen this number as low as minus 150 on the boards. Totally support the bet if it at 110 compared to the movement that is going on the closer we get to kickoff. How much do I like this Boise State team? Enough to state that not only are they, in my mind, going to win the Mountain West, but I think this team is quite literally the best team in the group of 5 with the most upside to make the college football playoffs. An early date with Oregon is certainly in the Ducks' favor with a very comfortable victory, and they should win. They should beat Boise State. But Boise should be the favorite in the rest of their games this season, which is 11. They get away with not having to play Fresno State, Colorado State, while playing both Oregon State and Washington State at home. In my opinion, this is the most talented squad in the Mountain West Conference with an extremely favorable conference schedule. And I'm not going to lie, I would be shocked if the Broncos lost more than one conference game en route to the conference title. Regardless of who they play, the ticket should carry value around minus 200. This is a pretty obvious pick, but again, Boise is the favorite to win their conference, and I'm going to ride that value till I die. So take Boise State to win the Mountain West Conference. And a couple other ones I'm not really going to go into detail with, so I don't want to spend like 40 minutes talking these guys' ears off. I like Utah over 9.5 wins. They play their hardest game is they play Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State, and I think Oklahoma State could win that game. But other than that, I think Utah could win the rest of their games. They don't really have a hard schedule. They play Iowa State at Utah, so I like Utah at over 9.5 wins on that one. And just a couple like good plus money bets that you could sprinkle some on is Ole Miss as SEC champs. They're plus 700. Tennessee is plus 1,400 of SEC to be SEC champs. and I was talking to Shane and Jason about this earlier. I like Texas State at plus 1,300 to make the college football playoffs. That team is very, very, very talented, and there is a chance they could do it. So I don't mind dabbling a little bit at plus 1,300 to make the playoffs for Texas State. Remember, guys, this playoff schedule got expanded now. There's 12 teams, so there's plenty of opportunity for some of these teams in those not Power 5 conferences to do their thing and get on the board. So I like that. Those are some of my best bets, my future bets for this season. I got plenty more. I can talk about that at a later date, but those are a few.
I like that. You were going to talk about Boise till you're blue in the turf.
I was waiting for something lame to come out of your mouth.
Dude, I'm a double dad now, man. It was in the pocket. I held my tongue until he finished so that I could just deliver that beautiful punchline for all of you out there. I'm a big fan. I also like Boise. They have some serious offensive firepower. The running back there at Boise, I'm blanking on the name right now, but is projected to be one of the first 5 running backs taken possibly in this upcoming year. And many people are pounding the drum saying he may be the best running back in the entire class, which is impressive considering the talent that exists in this class.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I think that was good. There's going to be some movements in these lines, so I would go and get some of these tickets while you still can. Just another one. I like Miami too to make the college football playoffs. It's plus 210. That team is very, very talented. There's a lot of people saying they could win their conference as well. Keep your eye on Miami if you want to go dibble dabble in some of that as well.
Thoughts on OSU real quick, just to pick your brain, Matt. I'll play host admin person here. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Ohio State University with their newly transferred in quarterback, former Kansas State quarterback? What do you think?
I've dabbled in some money betting on them to win the Big Ten. That's actually another one of my 3-star bets. It's plus money. Even though we've seen in the past, right? Ohio State pumps out wide receivers like it's candy. And they always seem to get talent back. Now, they do have a lot of remaining starters coming back on the offense line, and they have some starters coming back on the defense side of the ball. Will Howard, I know he got the nod to be the starting quarterback. I don't think it matters. Like, I think Ohio State's always going to be good. They're always going to have talented wide receivers. That's like the Iowa's the tight end mecca. I feel like Ohio State's now the wide receiver mecca. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it is. It's wide receiver U. I brought that up, or I'm glad you brought that up because I do have Ohio State winning the Big Ten.
And I think we all can agree Michigan is going to be down this year, and their only other really big test is usually Penn State. I know people are high on Penn State this year going into the season, but I mean, I think what we've seen over the years, Penn State usually folds against Ohio State in the big games.
Yeah, and to dabble off that, I actually have Michigan, another bet for you guys. I have Michigan under 8.5 wins. You know, they lose J.J. McCarthy, they lose Blake Corum, they lose their head coach and Harbaugh. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year for them. I think they're still going to be good. There'll be a solid team. They will be a team that threats, some of the other schools out there. But I do have them under 8.5 wins on that. I think they're going to be rebuilding a little bit.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up today's episode of the Parlay Fade. So remember, guys, go and check us out on all social media platforms on the old X machine. We will be over there. We will put some more stuff out. Head on over to Fantasy Six Pack, their Discord, become an all-access member, and be able to have the chance to chat with us. And once you become an all-access member, it's not just access to the Discord, guys. It's access to, or more content in the Discord. You get access to the website at fantasy6pack.net, right? And you get access to a ton of stuff, and you will have access to more of our bets if you want to ride the train with us. We do plan on doing some big things for you guys this year. Lots of details still yet to iron out with the partnership with them, but we are so happy to be partnered with them. They're going to offer us a lot of good things to come. And, you guys got anything else?
Head over to fantasy6pack.net, and it's the whole package, baby. You don't have to buy like individual things. That's one of the best perks about it, is that like if you buy the one membership, You get everything. You get bets, you get DFS, you get fantasy advice. Like, and if you're a sports head, it's a great place to be because everybody there is very receptive and wants to help, which is great. Like, that's the stuff that, like, you know, this industry is supposed to be built on, and they represent that immensely. So, sorry, I was getting a little teary eyed over here. Jeez.
Yeah, no, but it's cool. It's cool though. Go over there and check it out because not only they know what they're talking about. You know, we all know what we're talking about. Those guys over there were top 5 rankers in the fantasy industry as far as the ranks go. So they know what they're talking about. There's a lot of intelligent people over there, and you get to chat with us. You get to see us and chat with us. So just do it, like old Nike, like the slogan says.
Or shut
all right,
up.
then. Just do it. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up tonight's episode. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. You guys know what to do.
Yeah, Cats by 90. How about that?
Love it.
Hey, gamble responsibly, y'all. And we're so back. We're so back.
DJ Nation.
Dog out, baby. Let that dog out. All right, guys. We love you to the moon and back. Until next time, peace out.